Hey everyone, and welcome to the latest weekly roundup video for Eve Echoes. In this video we're going to be going through what's happened this past week, what event we've got live, any patch notes, bug reports, and any other news that might be of note. But before I get started, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you don't want to miss out on any videos. So, what did happen this week? Well, why don't we start with the bug report, say? So I'm just going to pull up a slideshow on my right hand side right now, and it's going to alternate between screenshots of in-game occurrences and some bug reports that I found on the Discord, and it was quite interesting. So of course we had our fair share of bugs last week, it's fair enough to say. This week however, post-maintenance, post-maintenance that supposedly fixed everything, we had, it was impossible. It was impossible to keep on top of the bugs that were coming out. Everybody had their own unique set. Like, for me, I have 3 characters. Each character I logged in onto had a different set of errors. So we're talking not being able to see the local chat, not being able to see the local window, being able to see chat but not be able to type in it, or being able to type in it but nobody's seeing anything. Not being able to quit the game, that was my favourite one. The quit game button just didn't work alongside the switch character button. It was just absolutely bizarre. And I think the devs must have been working overtime to fix this one. It was just brilliant. I know usually bugs are a bad thing, but they kind of spicing things up again in this case. Yeah, it was quite entertaining. And let's disable that slideshow now, as we move on to talking about the game event that's going on at the moment, because we could complain all day long about the bugs in this game, but let's not forget they're not bugs, they're features. They might as well be features at this point. So we're going to have a look now at what's going on in the in-game. We'll start off of course with the announcements. We're not going to go through it all verbatim because otherwise I'm just going to bore yourself to death as well as myself, let's be honest. So of course we have a new event, Eve Echoes Super Mecha Champions collab event. Yeah, we've got our first proper official collab event that isn't just a skin for an anime that nobody's ever heard of. This is a collab with another game which I believe is from Netease, Super Mecha Champions. Rambo has given it a go on the Echoes of New Eden podcast. I don't really know how to explain it. I've not tried it myself. I don't think I'm going to try it myself. And the whole idea of this being Netease's way of advertising Eve Echoes doesn't really make sense to me. I've got to be honest, it does not make sense. Best case scenario, you just steal one game's players and move them over to the other. That's best case scenario, because most mobile gamers aren't going to be toggling between multiple games and paying for each and every one of them. They're going to pick one and stick with it. That tends to be what we do. Oh well, I could ramble about that all day long, but let's move on, shall we? So what do we have as part of this Super Mecha collab event? It is quite a mouthful, Super Mecha Champions collab. Yeah, so we have a store. Of course, we can buy everything that we want from the store as per usual. Unfortunately, all of the store items tend to be in boxes. So you buy your boxes, you get your keys for your boxes, you open your boxes and the loot is completely random and you don't get to pick what you actually want to buy. Yeah, that would be a whole other rant of a video. We also have fighters and drones, specifically large drones, and then moving up to fighters. These are all based on the actual models for the Super Mecha Champions game. So the mechs in that game are represented as drones and fighters in this game. As we can see, large drone Hurricane, Pulsar Sentinel, Caramel Heavy Cannon, Caramel, yummy, Bolide, Pulsar Light, Pulsar Heavy, Hot Steel, Skydome. Yeah, if you're actually interested in these things, feel free to go in there and check them out yourself in-game. We also have structure skins. Now, this I find quite interesting because we've been asking for quite a long time now for structure skins, most notably for our Capsulaire outposts, because us as individuals simply just want to show off. That's literally all we want these skins to be able to do, just to allow us to show off. And yeah, they've given us that. Again, it's locked behind this box. You have to buy it, I think it's 30 times to get a guaranteed Capsule Outpost skin, which I think in real money terms was around £60 or $70, somewhere around that mark. Not exactly cheap, just for a skin. Yeah, it's a skin that you get to show off all the time. You know, more people are more likely to see this skin than they are your ship skin, so skins are actually relevant in this case because people actually see it other than yourself. But it's still a bit on the wee expensive side. Maybe if it was a Outpost Nano Core, then 60 quid might have been worth it, but I'm not going for this skin. And you don't need to. Plenty of other people have access to this skin, and as you'll see when I close the announcements page, you can still benefit from the skin that other people have applied, especially when it comes to corporation outposts or corporation citadels. I always forget what the developers actually call these things. Let's move along. So we have combat encounters. I'm not entirely sure what the deal is with these. So you can see them if you just head over to the encounters page. So if we just do this ever so quickly, I'll reset that to high sec just so that we can see them. And there we go. These yellow ones here. Unmanned ship, expert, and abandoned research station. These are a couple of examples of the high sec encounters. Now you can run them easily, as I have, with a Tech 10 ship running the AI nanocore. Whatever fitting you're currently using to run Tech 10 encounters in high sec with an AI nanocore, this is going to be exactly the same. You don't need to change up your fitting as far as I can tell, and you get a little bit more ISK out of it, so why not? Why not? But that's that. I don't really know what the point of the encounter is. It says there is a small chance of triggering the combat event compounder. Wow, okay, that's a new word for me. Cleaner encounter, whatever. Completing the expert difficulty encounter cleaner will earn you a collab mission assignment. I've not seen this happen yet. So I honestly don't know what the deal is there. But it's going to be going on until the 8th of October. I'm really not doing very well with my words today, am I? August. It is not October, it is August. Yeah, so this event is going on till the 8th of August, so maybe we'll know what this mission assignment thing is by then. Who knows? I think it'll be a storyline encounter type of deal. But moving along, Mecha Frontline Event Manual. This is your usual thing. You buy the event manual for like £8 or £9 or $10, whatever it may be. You get a bunch of SP, some stuff for your implants, and something specific to the event. In this case, you get the keys for unlocking those boxes. Although if I recall, you only get a couple of keys. Only a couple. Yeah, we'll get back to that when we go to the event screen. But moving on, we have the Navigator program. Now, the further behind you are with skill points, the more beneficial this is. All you have to do is buy 499 Aurum. Doesn't matter what you spend them on. You don't have to spend them immediately. You could spend them in 12 months' time if you wanted to. Just by getting that 499 Aurum that you might spend on Duo Omega or the Concord Pass or this particular Mecha Frontline Event Manual, whatever you spend it on, you only have to buy that Aurum and you get a shit ton of SP spread out across the month. It's based on how little SP you have. So the less SP that you have, the less skill points that you have, the more skill points that you get out of this event. I tend to do it every so often because it gives you a nice speed boost. So moving on, the Capital Remote Capacitor Transmitter. Okay, so this is a new module for capital ships, helps with logistics, I see. Balance adjustments, I'm better off reading these from my phone than on my screen, otherwise I'm going to have to lean really far forwards. So, new siege tactical modules, okay, so Dreadnought stuff. Dreadnoughts and Lanters have their built-in siege mode removed. They now have an additional mid-slot and a new bonus, the ability to fit siege reinforcement tactical modules. Now, we've seen this before. We've seen it before with carriers, and hopefully they're going to carry on doing this. I'm just going to put my phone down a sec. Hopefully they're going to carry on doing this across the entire game with every ship mode. because what is happening is Netease are taking the modes that they've built into ships, removing them and reintroducing them as a module. But then because you're probably going to complain that you don't have enough modules now and your ship has actually been nerfed because you've lost a low slot or a mid slot or whatever and you can't do as much DPS, instead of having to worry about all of that, they're just giving you bonus slots, bonus fitting slots. So in the case of the carrier, I believe it was a mid slot. In the case of this dreadnought, it is once again a mid slot. You can see where this is going, can't you? Because if for whatever reason you don't use that mode particularly often on your ship, you can actually get a bonus mid slot in this case. Let's say for whatever reason you don't like using siege mode on your dread. Maybe you rat in an area whereby there's constantly neutrals appearing and you do not want to be stuck unable to warp, so you never activate that siege mode. We're just using this as an example here because this is the first thing I can think of. If that's the case for you, you've just gained a free mid slot. What are you going to do with that mid slot? I have no idea, but you have gained a mid slot and I would not complain about that. At the end of the day, we have more options than we did before. And if I recall, the carrier, when that one got changed, the activation time was ridiculously slimmed down. So with a carrier, when you go and do your ratting, that cooldown timer, once you'd activated it before you could actually deactivate it and warp off again, was somewhere around like 2 minutes, maybe a minute and a half, I can't remember exactly. But for that entire window of time you were vulnerable, you could not warp away. But then when they replaced that mode with a module, they made it closer to what, 10 or 20 seconds? I can't remember the exact number, but that's all the time you needed to lock on to the next wave of NPCs. So you turn it on, lock on, turn it off again. If anybody entered the system, you're already aligned and able to just warp off. You don't have to wait 2 minutes for the cooldown to let you warp off. So, net bonus. As we can see, we've also had some more changes to the Minakawa, the Lift, the Apostle, and the Ninazu. I can't pronounce that one, and the Lucent Moon. It looks like it's a bunch more stuff to do with capacitors, because of course we've got that new Capital Remote capacitor module. Getting my words jumbled up again. This is lovely. So yeah, we've had that. Scout anomalies are no longer a thing. It looks like they've just been combined with Inquisitor anomalies. Again, this is just them trying to cut down on the amount of anomalies that they've got in the game so that they can introduce more and not completely overwhelm us with all of these different names. Because let's be honest, we all treat Scout and Inquisitors as exactly the same. As far as we're concerned, the only difference is the loot that they give. So, you know, it was already technically a duplication there as far as they were concerned. Optimizations, bomber battleships are now compatible with old series nanocores. Tends to be a running theme. Every time a new ship comes out, it's not compatible with the nanocore for the first month or so. Then it is compatible with the nanocore. It gives the newer nanocores like a window of exclusivity, as it were, for those ships, just to encourage you to buy those nanocores if you don't want to miss out, I guess. I don't know. And of course, we've got a bunch of issues that were fixed. But don't worry about that, because as we've discovered, they've had to fix a lot more issues since that patch. So anyway, that is the announcements page done with. So let's just have a quick look at the in-game store, shall we? Just see what there is. So we'll head over to regular sales. Is it regular sales? No, I probably clicked on the wrong one there. Bestseller combo, there we go. Don't click on regular sales, guys. Bestseller combos. So we have the Super Mecha collab store. I'm so glad they didn't have the full name in there. Wow. So as we can see, we have our decryptors. These are basically our keys this time. They're just not shaped like keys. Yeah, we've got our boxes. If we just have a look at one, for an example, this particular box here. So this box gives us... Okay, this is really annoying. So you need the key to open this box. Otherwise, if you buy it, you're just going to be stuck with a random one of these items. Of course, if you get lucky and you get the classified 2 gravitational wave graph, then good on you, because you've made probably like, what, 580 million ISK profit there. But if we have a look, if you take the key, you'll probably get one from the event pass, which we'll look at later. You get to choose which box that you want, and in this case, we're just looking at your drones. or fighters, whichever it may be. And as you can see, it is most definitely based off of the Super Mecha champion character models, whatever you want to call them. And I'm going to get tongue twisted if I keep on trying to say Super Mecha Champions collab. You've probably seen examples of it already, let's be honest. So, with that one, that's the one where you can get your new drones or fighters. Let's move along to the next one because they all seem to be ever so slightly different. So, here we go, this one. Yep, just a different way of getting there. I'm not going to try and explain away all of these boxes and what makes each and every one of them unique, because I think most of you will just click away at that point. So you can just have a quick glance here if you haven't logged into the game to see yourself. So here, this is just where you get the blueprints for them if you'd prefer to build them, rather than just get them, you know, straight out of the game, ready-made, ready to go. And with this last box, I believe this is the one where we can actually get our outpost skins. So as we can see here, we have, oh hello, we can actually click on view appearance on this one. So we're going to do that right now. So this particular skin, I guess, looks like that. Yeah, so that's for a corporation outpost. Let's go back in again. And I'm only going to pull up a random one now for the Capsuleer outpost, because that is one that I haven't actually found a Capsuleer outpost yet, although granted I've not been looking that hard, that actually has these skins on. But there they are, you can get these skins. I'm not going to actually do the math properly to figure out how much they cost, but this is what they look like in game. And you know what, ever so quickly, I'm just going to... I know my phone is not going to like this whatsoever, because, you know, it's not a gaming phone, it's just a regular old Pixel. Say old, it's a little bit newer than the old one. But this is what the inside of a Corporation Citadel actually looks like with this skin applied. And as you can see, there's your typical anime character, you know, because there always has to be an anime character in these. And let's have a look at it from the outside, shall we? While we load. And as we can see, I've not even pivoted the camera yet. And it's purple and yellow. We can tell there's something different already. And there we are. There is a Corporation Citadel with a good old skin on it. Now, if I... No, I can't set that. I was hoping to set that as like, you know, when you click look on an enemy ship so that you can actually look at it as if you were flying it. Can't do that in this case, but yeah, there we go. I am docking back up again as soon as my ship gets back into range. Really is taking its time here, isn't it? Let's click enter one more time and we'll move on. It'll dock on its own. We're not going to wait. We're not going to wait there. So going into the event page, we've not got much going on. In previous events, we've had like an abundance of things going on, like event awards popping up in our notification tray, the battle pass, the store, luck points, and so on and so on. Events have gotten quite bloated in the past, but in this case, it's not a bloated event. It is manageable. Literally the only thing I'm really doing with this event, apart from automatically running high-sec encounters, which the AI picks up anyway, I'm not going out my way to do anything. The only thing I've done is just buy the battle pass because I wanted skill points. That's basically it. I wanted to fast-track my skill training. So I just bought this for the skill points. Whatever else I get, not really all that bothered. I mean, it's not the best value for money pass that you're going to be getting for an event. You're not going to be getting super duper ships out of it, like brand new battleships, or a chance to get a what do you call it, the new dreadnoughts. Well, actually, technically speaking, you can get a chance to get access to these dreadnoughts. We're going to have a look ever so quickly, because I did notice a big nice box. So let's have a look. Where was the big nice box? The Cosmic Treasure Option Supply Box. Now this one, as you can see, gives you the Neon Gas Lucky Chest. Well, you get to choose which one. You don't get all of them. That would be amazing, but you don't get all of them. The Dragon Chant Lance Box, the Star of Trailblazers, the Starry Night Flight Lucent Box, or you can have skill points, Lazarus units, or gift insurance points. you get a nice old choice here. Me personally, I'm not sure which one I'd go for. Part of me wants me to go for the Neon Gas Lucky Chest because, you know, get enough of those and one day I'll be able to get a capital ship out of it. I'm not sure which I'll end up unlocking first. The one through the Concord Pass store or the one through this if I was to start using these as they show up in every event. Because odds are that sort of box is probably going to start showing up with every event, making, for the players that stick at it, making it a little bit more affordable to get your capital ships. In this case, if you pick 10 of the same boxes, whether it's Dragon Chant or Neon Gas, that's what, going to be a third of the way there in this case to the Disruptive Lance option supply. 60 times, so yeah, I'm not going to go into that too much more. So anyway, we've had a look at the encounter page, we've had a look at the store page, we've had a look at this pass, and I'd say the pass is kind of worth it. Of course, you get to top up on previous events, get that little bit closer to getting ships or modules that you were hoping to get in previous events but just weren't that lucky enough for. You've got your usual implant points, blah blah blah, and of course we have the navigator program whereby you can get a ton more skill points. I think that about sums up. Oh yeah, and cumulative top up. This never really makes a massive amount of sense to me either. But anyway, that about sums up everything I've got to say this week for Eve Echoes. We've had our bugs, we've had our updates, we've had our optimizations, we've had our monetization event, and I've had a rant. Yay! I've had a rant. Yeah, anyway, if you enjoy these rants and walkthroughs, roundups, whatever you want to call them, then feel free to hit those like and subscribe buttons and comment in the comment section down below anything you'd like me to cover in future videos. And while you're at it, feel free to check out my review videos for other indie games that I've been doing. I'm trying to get some practice in and try out new things, and I'm quite enjoying doing little review videos of indie games. So check out those as well if you enjoy them. And in the meantime, guys, fly casual in New Eden. Cheers.